You brake on top, you ride on the slat, you brake a bit at the bottom. You know what I thought was good? These hips are a bit too much on the front. Is this good enough, Jack?
Not bad.
Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is about progressing on your mountain bike, and for this I'm gonna be riding with my neighbor Jack. He's a competitive road cyclist, but he's pretty new to the sport of mountain biking. I consider him as a squamish average mountain biker. I'm gonna give him some tips and hopefully he's gonna be improving by the end of the day. Let's go. While Jack gets ready, I'm gonna prepare my bike because most likely we're gonna have to tune up a little bit his bike. I'm gonna be taking Allen keys obviously, but also a pressure gauge, regular pump, and very importantly a shock pump. For today's video, I'm gonna be taking my propane Eugene. I haven't done much content with it, but it's a 29er trail bike, 150mm on the front, 140. It's the little brother of the Tai. Should be perfect for today. Oh, hey Jack. Come on, dude. Now we said like mountain biking.
You told me to take it seriously?
Well, yeah, but...
No skin set? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a better outfit. Okay, we made it on top of entrails here on Alice Lake. I guess entrails, Bonnie's Elbow, and Wesso is one of your favorite laps. How comfortable are you on it?
Yeah, I ride entrails and Boney a lot, so I'm pretty confident. Even in the wet, I would ride it, and then usually I would get to the bottom of Boney and decide if I'm going to ride it Wesso or not.
Okay, so yeah, we're gonna do the same. The reason why we stick to a trail, is just because you've been riding it a lot, so you already know it. You know what you can currently do, and the idea is not to push yourself, but just to tune up your technique and your skills. So hopefully you can progress and just overall like increase your riding experience. You can feel more confident, have more fun, and hopefully you guys learn from it. Okay, it's pretty funny because the first tip I'm gonna give to Jack is a tip that I will give to 99% of the intermediate mountain biker, and it is to stand up. So you end up riding quite low on your bike. You actually squat a lot, and that doesn't give you the best position. You should be standing up and really looking ahead. That way you have a better anticipation of the terrain. You can pick up better, smoother line. And if you need, you can squat low and use your arms and your legs so you can be more mobile on your bike. You can move the bike easier and also you fatigue less.
Should I go into a feature? Standing tall?
Anytime you're riding, unless you are cornering, taking an impact, or setting up weird for a feature, you should be riding tall and strong on your bike. If you are like competing and if you're trying to go as fast as you can, sometimes you need to ride a bit lower just to get more traction on the bike or to have a better cornering position. But overall, when you're riding a trail like that, you should be riding on a very neutral position, and your neutral position should be somewhere like this. So heels down, legs pretty straight, your hips far back, and really looking ahead with your elbows out.
I think riding tall on the bike is the only thing I might be able to do better than you.
You got a slight advantage to start with. Should you give it a try?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm gonna show you first.
Okay.
And
sure.
then you can do it.
Okay.
Anything you noticed?
Yeah, your upper body's like tall but quiet. Like you're not moving around a whole lot, and the bike is doing a lot of work for you, and it just looks way smoother.
Well, because I stand high, I can actually use my core to control the bike.
Yeah.
And I really use like every part of my body to keep the bike on the ground and get the bike exactly where I want it to go. But I don't hold on to the bike too much. Especially, it's slippery, there's those rocks. I kind of let a little bit of flex to the bike to go kind of wherever it wants to go in a certain direction. And I can do that because I'm tall. Tall on the bike. I got a bit confident here, but so if you ride like squatted like you did, you ride lower, you don't have that tolerance to kind of let the bike float on the terrain, and so you have to like really hang on to it. Whereas
it makes sense, but it feels like squatted should be the right way to do it to me. And I feel as though I go into, I'm like, okay, I need to be ready, like in a squatted position, but then it makes sense. Actually, that reduces how much movement.
But so when you squat, it's like your ready position, to get on a jump, or to get to certain section, but you cannot be in that ready position the entire time.
Yeah.
You need to be in a neutral position, and when you need to be ready, you go in your ready position.
Yeah.
So for example, you are pretty tall the entire time, and this section of the trail, you want to be smooth, you want to go behind your rear wheel a bit. Then when you get right there, you go in your ready position.
Okay.
But if you're in your ready position the entire time, that kind of defeats the point, and then you're no longer ready. Hey, I was gonna say, other than that, that was much better.
You know what it is? Like, honestly, I'm coming into that and I'm not looking where I would normally look because I'm in a different place.
Well, the thing is that you need to get used to your new position, right?
Yeah.
It's like you get a new bike or a new part,
Yeah.
new tires. Even if it's better, you still need to get used to it.
Yeah.
But I think like you were on a good path here. You definitely had more speed.
Yeah.
You look more confident. You made a mistake here,
Yeah.
not because your position wasn't good, just because this trail is extremely hard and awkward to ride.
Yeah. Yeah. Normally I would ride this section okay, but just being in a different position and I think maybe at a different speed, it just threw me off a little bit from the way I normally ride it.
You are definitely going faster. Also, you can see here, you move the rock. I don't know if that's what made you make a mistake, but you're going faster. This trail is extremely hard to ride, very awkward, and everybody makes mistakes here.
Yeah.
It's like there's so much stuff that can go wrong, but you were safe. You didn't crash, fortunately. Yeah, I think we should give another try.
Yeah, let me try it again.
Like, to me that looked much better. You can still be a bit taller, so legs a bit straighter,
Yeah.
and your hips are too far on the front.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
I felt like I was going to go over the front.
Yeah, you have too much weight on your front wheel,
Yeah.
but also we're gonna check your suspension because your front fork might be a bit too soft. So you can see he's riding taller, but his hips are a bit too much on the front, and his front wheel is gonna hit the rocks, and I put too much weight on his arms. And you can see the fork is quite soft. It's quite deep into the travel on this section of trail. Okay, same as before. This time I'm gonna follow Jack, see how much he's improved. Yeah, his body position is much better. Hey, you know what? I mean, you made a mistake, but you corrected it. So Jack made a little mistake, but because he had a better body position, he was able to correct it, save it, and keep on going. Whereas normally, what would have happened?
Yeah, normally if I've made that same mistake a few times before, and it usually means I don't ride the whole thing.
Yeah, because you stand up higher, you got more margin to save it.
Yeah.
Whereas if you had been like crunched over on your bike, then you would not have been able to correct
I
it.
nearly stepped off in anticipation of not being able to ride it, but actually then I was able to ride it through.
It's good. Let's ride it this time. Yeah, so Jack already has got more speed. Yeah, buddy! That was really good.
Yeah, that was bad.
You had way more speed, and on top, you even moved your rear wheel a little.
Yeah,
And this, you were able to do that because you were standing up.
Yeah, exactly. That felt way easier to move the back around a little bit.
That was perfect. So yeah, that was really cool to see. Jack had a much better position, and even at the start of the trail, he was able to move the rear end of the bike, and he was able to do that because he had that neutral position where he was standing up. If he had been crunched over on his bike like he did at first, you would not have had the mobility to move on the bike like you did. So I think it was really good. You managed to get a good exit speed behind, and no, I think we're making good progress. How do you feel?
Yeah, that was good. I never moved the rear wheel the way I did there. It just felt way more balanced on the bike.
It felt very natural from there.
Yeah.
Like it, you just like, you wanted to open your corner a little bit, and you just moved it, and so that was good.
Yeah. Cool.
Sweet. Well, let's keep that same body position and apply it to the rest of the trail.
Okay.
So what's your line around here?
So I'll normally come on rider's left of that first tree and then control my speed, drop onto this slab here, and then right through the kind of janky rolls there, and then you see the big tree in the middle at the end, I kind of wait to see which direction I get bounced in before I decide which side
Before
of that
you
tree,
decide, right?
which side of that tree I go on. It's kind of braided. I don't even know which way is the proper trail.
But now that you got a better position, you're gonna be able to choose where you go.
Yeah.
No longer the bike.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess not. Ideally, I would go left and keep the turn more open.
Yeah.
I don't usually have that option.
Let's let's have a look.
Okay.
Are you the coach now or what? That was perfect. That was really good. Do you feel how stable you were?
Yeah, it did feel much better. Yeah.
Well, now the only difference that you need to go to a mountain biking speed instead of road cycling. So you need to go a bit faster, but yeah, that's really good. Like, how do you feel?
It felt faster. I'm not sure that I was on and off the brakes at the right times, but I was definitely on and off the brakes.
Yeah, but it's not really being like on and off. It's just about choosing where you put the most power on your brakes and where you let go.
Yeah.
So it's like, imagine when you're driving your car and there is a speed bump, you don't want to brake on the speed bump.
Mm-hmm.
You want to brake before the speed bump, so then your suspension go back to the initial point when you take the bump. It's kind of the same. Here you get a big compression, so the best way to slow down is obviously to brake in the compression. But past that compression, once you're stable on your bike, you kind of want to carry speed, and you are like quite a lot on the brakes on that bumpy section.
Mm-hmm.
What would be better is that you brake on top, you ride on the slab, you brake a bit at the bottom, and then once you've controlled your speed enough, you let go the brake and you go back on the brakes later on when the trail is actually smoother.
Okay.
You're good enough of a rider that you could carry more speed and get back on your brakes later.
Okay.
So maybe you should try that.
Okay.
So you can see your body position is better, you are definitely faster, slow down a lot before, and you slow down until the start of the corner, and then you really let go, which was exactly what you want to do. So that's really good. The only thing I can notice is, you're getting faster and you have a stronger position, so you get the bike to take more impact than maybe you used to. So I think you should stiffen a bit the front end of your bike. So we're gonna add a bit of air just to get that front end a bit higher, and so you can muscle show stuff a bit easier.
Okay.
So you're at 70 psi, and I think we can go to 75.
Okay.
That should be enough to give you a bit more support and have the bike sit a bit higher in the travel. That video is actually sponsored by Jenson USA. Jenson USA is an online retailer. They started to sell 7 mesh, they also do topic or camelback products, and they've given me a gift card for Jack so he can purchase a chase vest like this one or a pressure gauge, for example. So thank you so much those guys, and when you guys do a purchase using one of the links in the description, that support my channel so I can do more and better video. So thanks so much for that. So because we added some air, the fork is gonna come back faster. So we're just gonna add 1 click of rebound, and that should get back to a rebound that Jack is familiar with. Let me follow you.
Okay. Can you keep up?
That's right. That was good. You recognize this one?
Yep, I know this one well.
Okay. Well, I know you can ride it, but instead of teaching you how to go fast, let's work on going as slow as we can. Because in slabs, going fast is actually fairly easy, you just don't have to brake. We worked on compression and we worked on body position before, so now it's more about braking control. And I think the best way to learn about braking control is to try to go as slow as we can, so you can really start mastering your front brake and your rear brake, and you can really find that modulation before sliding, and I think this is a pretty good slab to do it.
Cool.
So I'm gonna do it first. I'm just gonna go basically as slow as I can, and so you can visualize my body position what I do, and then you can try.
Okay.
I'm gonna move a bit further because this is good enough, Jack.
Not bad. I've seen Danny McCaskill a bit better.
That's only because he's Scottish, right?
Yeah, that was awesome.
What did you notice on my riding technique to go as slow as I can?
Well, it was really slow. And yeah, like I feel as though I can ride it comfortably, but not as slowly as you've done. And it's really obvious how much you're relying on the front for traction. Like I can see the rear doesn't really have a whole lot of weight on it, and it's like skipping just on the brink of losing traction.
Yeah, your front brake really stops you, while the rear brake only slows you down. So different use, and on a slab like that, where the grip is really good, you just rely on your front brake. Like that's your number one priority, is to deal with the front, and the rear, that's where you're gonna skid, and that's okay. If you do skid, kind of let go and get back to a better modulation, so you can you can get that traction again. Because when you skid, you're basically out of control, so you want to keep your tires rolling and yeah, have fun, go as slow as you can.
Okay.
Yes, your heels. Front brake.
I'm squeezing it!
So I was actually really impressed by your first attempt. You were really controlled, you had really good brake management. I was very impressed because you went really slow at the start, and as soon as you skidded a little, which is pretty normal, I was expecting you to pick up a bit more speed, but you actually didn't. You managed to refocus and get back on the traction again, and really keep a consistent speed to the bottom. It was really good. You were maybe a bit too low on your bike, which is good in a way because you want your center of gravity to be low. But when you start skidding, or if you make a mistake, especially if your front wheel makes a mistake, you have less space to correct.
Yeah.
So right now it's a straight slab, so it's very easy. But when you're gonna come to like more technical slab, you don't want to be that low on your bike, because if something happens, you can't really correct.
Yeah.
So one thing that I've noticed, that your ankle are still pretty high. And if you look at mine, my heels were really deep, and that way that allows me to get even lower from the ground without compromising my body position.
Okay.
So I can keep like a fairly high stand, get my hips as close as I can from the rear wheel, but get my legs still a bit straight so I can push on the bike, make myself super heavy, and get like still in very good control.
Okay.
So maybe you should try again and try to get those heels down a bit more.
Okay, sounds good. Let's do it.
Yes. Lot of front brake, your heels, yes. There we go. You could be coaching mountain biking now.
Still came in a bit hot, and then I lost it again.
Yeah, but
Just started to lose it a little.
Like,
I held it though.
this slab is like fairly easy, but when you're gonna go on, I don't know, like Guranga and that like more spicy stuff, you're gonna slide. So it's good that you get used to like kind of losing control and getting back control. Yeah. That's really important. Perfect.
Cool.
Let's move to the next one. So you've done really well on the slab up there. This one is not much harder, but the big difference is that it's completely off-camber. So the technique is not much different with your braking, but the big thing is that you're gonna have to change the position of your feet. Like any off-camber corner, basically you want to drop your outside feet, just like when you're skiing, you put the weight on your outside leg. So same idea, you're gonna have most of your weight on the outside leg, which is gonna be the right leg for this particular feature. You keep your heels down, but your outside leg is gonna be lower, so you can help the bike to get traction. and yeah, that's gonna make the process easier. You're gonna be more efficient with your braking, and this is whether you're braking on the slab or you're not. Even if you go really fast, you want to keep that traction, so you want to keep your outside foot down, and that's really gonna be helpful. So let's do it a few times.
Cool.
You kind of were a bit like too crunched on your bike, so you didn't have the best mobility. Yeah, good. Yeah, it was much better. You had like outside foot was down, heel were down, and what you did different is mostly that your hips were more far back, so you're more spread out on the bike, so more stable, better control, and because you are not crunched when you came on that section of the trail, you were on your like, you know, basically neutral position. You were able to move the rear end of the bike and set up nice for the exit of the trail. So that was good. Like, how does that feel?
Yeah, it felt way better. I have to remind myself, hips in particular, hips and heels, like I have to keep telling myself, but I can really feel the difference in my body position, and then yeah, it feels great.
The best way to progress is really to, you know, be over critical of your own riding and really focus on those things, and like remind yourself, like before you drop in, it's like, okay, I have to think about my heels, I have to think about my elbows, my hips, until it becomes natural.
Yeah.
Nice. So that section of trail is actually super fun. You definitely had a better braking control, better position. But I've noticed at the bottom, in between the corner, you seem to sit a little bit and pedal in between the corners, which I don't think is a good thing. First of all, your gear is a bit too easy, and you should have a bit more power. So maybe run 1 or 2 gear lower, just so you get more resistance. And I think it's better if you ride your bike like if you didn't have a chain. If you don't have a chain, you can't make up for a mistake by pedaling.
Yeah.
So pretend you don't have a chain. That way, that's gonna make you ride like more round, pick up smoother line, and carry more speed. You won't be able to brake as late. You'll have to brake earlier and carry your speed out of the corner. And when you sit like that and you spin your legs, you take more chances to make a mistake by hitting a rock.
Yeah.
Whereas if you stay standing up and you push into this corner, you're gonna carry more speed, make less mistakes.
Okay, so I should make fewer mistakes.
You should make fewer mistakes. And now let's see if you can ride this one.
Okay, so normally when I ride this, I'll come in pretty slow, but with just enough momentum to not hang up the front wheel on this first little section here on the crack, and then basically pinball my way down until I get to the rocks at the bottom and try and hit the brakes hard enough there and scrub enough speed to get around the corner before the tree stump at the bottom.
Yeah. Me, what I will do, well, what I will advise you to do is to open your corner before, stay inside, so that way you can kind of miss the crack and the big step.
Yeah.
That makes it easier. You're less likely to get bounced around. You'll be able to control more speed there. And then what you can do, once you come faster and faster, your braking point will actually be on those rocks. Why? Because that's what we talked about earlier on entrails, is that compression. So you got a big compression, your bike is gonna go deep into the travel, there's a lot of weight on your bike.
Yeah.
And if you've got a strong position, that's why you can brake super hard and off, and then just manage your corners after that.
Okay.
So maybe try to stay more inside.
Stay tight, yeah.
And see if you can ride it smoother than before.
Okay, cool, let's try it.
So how was that?
Yeah, it felt good. I was trying to be further left, and it felt fast, but actually at the bottom, I was pretty comfortable getting past the tree stump.
Yeah, you can see your tire marks. So you were more inside than usually, and then you kind of opened a little bit.
Yeah.
So, and you could literally go on a perfect straight line from here.
Yeah.
So you could stay a bit more left, and I believe it will be less bumpy. You'll be able to control your speed a bit better.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's just all the clean rock to the right is very appealing when you're trying to brake, you know, like I get pulled towards it, but then I can see that actually if I stay left, there's less sort of up and down, it's going to be less bumpy, fewer compressions, and then a smoother, straighter line.
Yeah, try to stay a bit straighter, work on that body position, and try to really make yourself as heavy as you can into that compression on the pavers, so you can really shut down the speed and then let go for the corners.
Okay, all right, let's try it again.
That was really fast. And your series next year. So what about this one?
Yeah, that felt way better.
That left line, that's straighter, you had way more control.
Yeah.
You actually go fast.
Yeah, that felt both faster and more in control.
Having that better line and a better riding position, you can be more confident and you can brake harder where you need to brake. And then you can just let roll the bike, and that was really good.
The body position feels so much better.
And you look strong.
Yeah, like I feel like I can go into it with more speed, and I'm now less worried about getting bounced around because I'm absorbing things better. So I get a bit more time to look ahead and brake at the right time. That was by far the best I've ever ridden that section.
Think about your hips. So like try to be, because it's flat, right?
Yeah.
Hips further back, elbows more out, and so that way your control position, which is like gonna be your chest and shoulder, like you above your stem and your front wheel basically, and that way it's just easier to angle the bike. So maybe follow me on this section of trail. I'm gonna go on the front and you're gonna see my body position. You see what I mean?
Yep. Yeah.
I'm in a stronger position, my hips are more far back, and I really keep space to move the bike. So we're gonna focus on those two corners. This one is pretty good because you come really fast on it. So you're gonna have to focus on your braking zone. You're gonna come tall, get weight on the bike so you can really be efficient while you slow down, and then stand up a little bit, focus on your body position and really make a nice corner. You carry good speed out, but then you're gonna have to brake again and do the same for the next corner. And for this corner, it's pretty flat actually. So make sure you've got same on the off-camber rock face, outside foot at the bottom, so you can really put weight on the knobs of the tire and get the grip so you don't slide out. I show you?
Yep.
Good.
Okay, my turn.
Your turn, but you have any feedback on any questions?
No, I mean, you did what you said you were going to do. It looks like, you know, it's noticeable that you kind of load the bike up, and it sounds ridiculous, but you can hear that you've got lots of traction.
Yeah.
You know, like the sound is like your tires are just gripping.
Exactly, and that's because I can put a lot of weight on my outside leg and have a good body position, so I can really get those side knobs to dig into the dirt and do what they're here for.
Yeah. Cool.
And see, like after that, I stand up again, I braked again, so you don't want to get overcarried on this one and go too fast, right? So remember, corner but have a good exit speed, back on the brakes, corner again.
Yeah, and you can see, like you didn't skid in the corner, but you can see exactly where your wheels were because they're just gripping so much.
And remember that if you brake too late and you brake into the corner, naturally you're gonna sit and then you're gonna lose all your speed out.
Yeah. Okay, all right, let's try it.
So yeah, I'm looking at the video, it's pretty good actually. You had a good braking control, you really shut down your speed before, and then you enter the corner, and once you enter the corner you no longer braked, and then you did it again here, you braked, and then enter the corner. What I can criticize is more on the corner. You didn't have your outside leg at the bottom, and the thing is that you're going to a speed that was like low enough that you're not gonna slide.
Yeah.
But once you're gonna go faster and faster, at some point you're gonna slide if you don't put more weight on that berm.
Yeah.
You're gonna slide if you don't put your outside foot at the bottom. I heard your tires going like.
Yeah.
That means you're going fast.
I was making that sound with my mouth as I went past.
That was really good. Like, did you feel the difference?
Yeah.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah,
That's really good.
Felt better for sure.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching that video. I hope you enjoyed it. How was it?
Brilliant. I really enjoyed it. A few seemingly small tips have made a really big difference. So yeah, I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Let me know in the comment below what tips was the most valuable, and I'll pick up the best answer and give away a $50 gift card from Jensen USA. And talking about Jensen USA, every time you make a purchase using the link in the description, that support my channel. So thank you so much. And right now, don't forget the deal with GoPro. When using the code REMY at checkout, you'll get a bunch of free accessories, including a chest tee. That's only until June 9th for North America. So enjoy, and I see you next week.